Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and I've got a interesting lot to show you today. So, with all those end of the year sales, there had been something I'd had my eyes on for some time, and that was some of Epic and Stuff's tortles. Now, every now and then, somebody releases some tortles, but and I'm not even into turtles necessarily. When I saw what he's been up to, I had to get some of these guys. I just thought there's a lot of really fun sculpts. They're very cartoony, almost like SD style if you dig the chibi vibe. But we have turtles in almost every type of tabletop profession. So this is a cleric one. And I've been trying to scratch my head about how to paint these exactly. Like, I like how his shell looks a little bit more ornate and heroic. He's got like potions and stuff. I was thinking about painting his chest maybe in actual armor colors rather than, as a turtle shell. This guy's one of the more diminutive ones. And along with him, I had to get the barkeep. And thankfully, all of these models are available as both hollowed versions and, full versions. I guess if you were going to sell these, if you had a merchant's license, I would probably want to do the full one. But you can see they're heavily hollowed out, which is nice if you're like me and you're constantly printing models and you're in need of saving some resin, because why, print 2 when you can hollow them out and print 4, right? That you may or may not get to. Here was a fun one. A Barbarian Turtle with a metal jaw and wooden armor, it looks like. And again, all of them have different shells and stuff. I thought this was kind of a fun touch. They do suffer from Iron Kingdom's leg syndrome. They have stubby little feet. But then again, most turtles actually have stubby little feet in real life, too. The Bard. Well, if you wanted to use him as Bard, he'd be just as nice as Ranger, I think. Got a little spell book in there, too. You can use him as a multi-class guy. Oh, I really like this one. This was, I think, the Knight. I want to say this is one of the more recent ones, I think. And I can't help but want to give him a red Koopa shell. It's probably going to happen, I think. Very stately looking. And then I had to print one of the big ones. I want to say this was the Warlord. Again, very big and deadly, and got armor and skulls all strapped to his shell back there. He's big enough, I'm going to have to show you guys the size anyway, but this guy right here alone is big enough to warrant a 50mm base. That's pretty impressive for a turtle. But no, those actually aren't the ones that I really wanted to show off. What I really wanted to show off, and the reason I had to get all of his friends, because who wants to have a party of just one tortoise, right? You want a whole bunch of turtles, or terrapins, or whatever you want to have them. The Blood Hunter. Oh my god, I had to have this. Who doesn't want to have a Bloodborne-styled turtle hunter running around on the tabletop? Being in, old Yharnam or wherever he may be, hunting the beasts of the night. I had to get this. I'm like, this just, he was an instant purchase in a long string of instant purchases. You could probably fit these guys on 25mm bases. I know it's hard to see him from the front there, but he is on a 25mm base at the moment. It is a bit of a tight fit. 25 square would probably work a lot better, or just 25mm, 30mm in general. But like I showed with the Warlord, you could probably squeeze him on a 50 and it would be completely normal looking. Some of these guys, like our Knight friend, all of them, I think you could probably squeeze them. The actual footprint of most of these figures is small enough that they'll fit on a smaller size base, but, given their girth and size, I do think that they would benefit from a larger base as well. Grabbing the Barbarian here. And again, they're all hollowed out with multiple drainage points on there. He fills that 40mm base pretty well. His feet do overhang the 20 and barely fits on a 25, but, considering That's about 1 inch or so, and you know that's going to be the typical size of the grids on a RPG. Might be a fun one to use therein. Grabbing a couple other random models. We got a Mantic Dwarf here, a GW Human. What other random figures do we got? Want to do something really fun? Might have them throw in with a 15mm model. Maybe some interesting giants you might have to encounter there. Mantic Humans. So they're definitely about human size, but a little bit larger. Definitely bulkier. That seems to be the way most turtle type races are being shown for the tabletop. Another Mantic Human. So an interesting, fun little subline of figures that Epics and Stuffs have been putting out just from about the very beginning. Personally, and I'm going to toot my own horn, I'm waiting to see the rest of the Breath of Fire 3 cast. We've had Gar, whatever the big gargoyle's name is, since the very beginning. And don't think that even though I don't show everything on here that often, I watch a lot of Patreons and I watch a lot of sculptors. And that's one of those things because I absolutely loved Breath of Fire 3, albeit it was a bit of a grind. And I've told you guys, when it comes to those old school Japanese RPGs, anything Circa, 2003 and before, I probably played it. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing some more of those figures, if that is the case. But honestly, I have about 7 or 8 more Tortles waiting to get printed, but they're just such a fun little interesting side venture for me into painting. I have absolutely no idea how to paint turtles other than green and brown. And the fact that, there obviously are going to be some allusions to certain ninja type turtles, but the fact that we've got so many other classes is really a lot of fun. So if this is something that tickles your fancy, if you ever wanted to paint a bunch of turtles and tortoises of various types, that's the other thing. We were sitting there, my son and I, looking at a lot of these, trying to figure out what kind of turtle this might actually be based on, and gotten a big argument over different types of shell, colors, and yet none of them are obviously painted yet. That's going to have to be fixed. Definitely do give Epics and Stuff a good look. I'll have a link down below to both their Patreon page and their My Mini Factory page, so if you have access to a 3D printer, definitely some fun stuff there, I think, to be had. Or, just something for your turtle-loving friends and family out there as well. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.